Well, my first video with my new C8 behind me. Still can't believe it. I'll wake up and run out here. It really happened. Alright, today I want to talk about the process to buy a C8 and to get one at Msrp, so stick around. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Like I said, my C8's finally here. After 16 months, give or take, the C5'S has been exiled temporarily. My next project will be the garage, redoing it. That includes a lift. And yes, the C5 will fit above this with about 6 inches to spare, which is awesome. When I posted my last video, I had a lot of people reach out to me on YouTube and Instagram about the buying process, if I really did in fact pay MSRP, how I did that, the timeline, my payments, financial stuff involved with the C8, can you afford it? And I'm just going to be very transparent and talk about everything, just to cover it all here as best as I can. And by all means, any questions you have, leave them below. Oh, and I will show you the window sticker, and that is exactly what I paid on the window sticker. So, but yes, so the vehicle's price after all my options was just above $67,000, and that is what I paid plus state tax, etc. Now, if you want to get a C8 Corvette and you don't want to wait, you want one right now, today, at MSRP, this video is probably not for you, because I've seen a handful out there, but they go within minutes, I feel like, or it's a little bait and switch action. I'm just now seeing 1LTs, 2020s with some mileage on them, mid to high 70s. They are coming down for sure, but to get one MSRP off the lot right now today, it's still a tall order. So yes, the first thing you want to do is to find a reputable dealer that does deal in MSRP, and that's what I did. Back in August of 2021, I went online, did some research. I reached out to a few local dealerships here in the Hampton Roads area. None of them could promise MSRP. They kind of tiptoed around that little fact there. So I was like, ooh, I wasn't satisfied. It gave me a bad feeling in my gut. So I went online and searched the top Corvette dealers in the country. I ended up going with Criswell Corvette out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, just because of proxy. They were the closest of the top 3, and I grew up pretty close to the area of the dealership. Now, I want to say probably the top 10 or so in the country does offer MSRP. They did a year and a half ago, and I feel like more do now. Now, once you find a dealership that gives you a warm fuzzy, you do want to get in writing, of course, that they do deal in MSRP via some sort of email or something in paper, something written, something you can reflect back on and say, hey, remember right here we said MSRP? That'll help you in the long run and give you that warm fuzzy I'm talking about. Once you find a dealership you like, good to go with MSRP, they're probably going to want a deposit. In my case, they wanted $1,000. For this guy, I had no problem doing that, so I transferred them $1,000. That's just the name of the game. So this is the boring part where you just kind of wait. When you place your order with a dealership, it doesn't technically go to GM yet. You're just kind of a folder, if you will, at the dealership. You're in what's called 1100 status. The dealership will hold on to your folder, your information, until an allocation for their dealership opens up. Some dealerships have a lot of allocations a month. We're talking maybe 50 or 60. Some have 2. So you got to be aware of that too. You might find a local dealer that will offer MSRP. There might be 12 guys ahead of you, and this goes for the Z06 as well. But if they only get 1 or 2 allocations a year, it's kind of null and void. You know what I mean? So you find your dealer, you give them your money, you're in queue to go to GM. Like I said, you're 1100 status. The next step is when your dealership for that month has an allocation, and everyone in queue that's next can match up to a car in Bowling Green. And it depends on the dealer. Some are as short as 8 months now. Some are still as long as 16, 18 months. You just got to call around. It's just the name of the game. When I got mine, my dealer was averaging or guessing about 12 months to allocation. It ended up being 13 months, which is fine. And then another 3 months until the car arrived. So 16 months total, which at the time felt like a long time, but now it's already here. It's crazy. All right, so you get the phone call. It's been a year, give or take. Dealer is like, hey, we need your build. What do you want? So they're going to take your build and they're going to ship it to GM. And GM's going to say, all right, we can support it this month. There's no constraints for this build, these options, or you can't. When I was going through my submission through GM, the mag ride was a huge constraint, and so was the Z51. Now, the day I put my build in, I was going back and forth, is Z51 or not? and I just rolled the dice and went with non-Z51 just because I don't really think I'm going to track it. And I'm okay with that. And luckily, that month, Z51, for me anyway, Z51 was on constraint, so I got pushed through. And I feel like my month I got pushed through, I was the minority that wanted a non-Z51. So a lot of guys jumped ahead a month or two just because that's what we picked. It was just random and lucky that I did that. And I got some cases bumped up 2 months from other people just because I decided to go with an option that was not on constraint. Now, if you submit your build and it goes to the gatekeeper, GM, and they say, we can't do it this month, and you really want that option, you'll be next in queue for when that constraint opens up, if that makes sense. All right, so once GM says, we got the parts for your car, we can build it this month, you're gonna go to 2,000 status. And that simply means the order has been accepted by Chevrolet. And then you're gonna go to 3,000 status, where your order has been accepted by production control. And then you'll go to 3,100 status. That means your order is available for sequence. 3,300 status is when it gets kind of fun. That's when they broadcast your order for a date. They give you a TPW, which is a target production week. Mine was for the 28th, that Monday, and mine was built on that Friday, the 2nd of December. And then 3,400 status, they start making your vehicle. And then 3,800 status, your vehicle is officially built. Now, you can check all this stuff with your dealer. They can keep you informed. I didn't bother my salesman too much. It's one of those things, it'll get here when it gets here. I know my salesman's dealing with 30, 40, 50, 60 other people doing the exact same thing, but you can go on to Chevy.com. There is a little status. It's an autonomous computer you're talking to, but you just put in a little chat box, say status. It'll ask you for a VIN, because you'll be provided a VIN at 3,300 status. Put your VIN in, and it'll tell you exactly what step your car is at that point, if it's been made, if it's been shipped out to your dealer, etc. And then 4,000 through 4,200 status, just getting the car logistically situated at the plant. It's gone through quality control. It's ready to go. They find a carrier for it, ship it to you, and then 4,200 status, the vehicle is officially on its way to your dealer. Now, depending where it's loaded on the truck and how far it's going from Bowling Green, it could be 2 days, it could be 2 weeks. 43 and 4,800 status, I think it depends on what you're doing, either a museum delivery or it's going on freight, going on truck. I'm not too sure on those two, but it's in transit and it's getting where it needs to go, how it needs to get there. 5,000 status, your vehicle is officially at your dealership, and your dealer will probably call you at this moment, hey, your vehicle's ready. It's got to be processed and stuff. If you have certain aero kits, etc., they got to put it on. They'll clean the car up for you, all that stuff. Takes maybe a day or two to get ready. In some circumstances, it can be delivered that morning. If you wait all day, you probably could get it at the end of the day, maybe. And then 6,000 status simply just states it's finally been delivered to the customer, and they can clear the queue of your name and get rid of the folder, or whatever they do with it. So that's kind of the process of getting a C8 at cost. Like again, patience is the name of the game. If you have more money than patience, you're probably just not going to wait, and you'll pay over markup, which is fine. If you're financially capable of doing that, good on you. If you want to go my route and just wait it out, awesome. All right, now what I paid for this guy. All right, now here's my actual sticker here. As you can see, 2023 Corvette Coupe up there, 1LT, nothing fancy. You can pick one of these up for a standard price of $64,500. I did add a few options, as you can see right there. My total vehicle price was $67,885. After destination charge, which is on all vehicles, the total cost was $69,280. Now, a couple years ago, before I was on a list and I wanted this car bad, I was ready to shell out another 25 grand, but something inside of me was just like, don't do it. That's a lot of money just to piss away. So I played the long game and I waited, and for me, it paid off. And I'll tell you exactly how I did my payments, why I did what I did. I'll tell you my interest rate. I'm very transparent, I don't care. And hopefully this will help someone else out there on the fence about, hey, can I afford a C8'S? That's kind of the idea of this video, kind of give you a heads up what to expect. I decided to do an 84-month term. I'll tell you why in a second. My interest rate was 6.9. Total transparency, I do have good credit. It's 835. Please don't try to steal my identity. Thank you. I put $25,000 down. The state I bought this from was Maryland, and they have a 6% tax rate and other miscellaneous fees that say $300. So that puts my monthly payment right at about $725. Now that's the kind of number I was looking for. I could have went a much shorter months, 36 or 48. I would have had a much lower APR. The reason why I stretched mine out so long, financially is not very smart, but I do get a little bit of YouTube revenue. I'm not a huge channel, but I do make some money. And full transparency, on a decent month, I'll make about $650 on YouTube. I'm not a high traffic channel, but I have a lot of videos, a lot of DIY stuff. That does help longevity. So on average, I make about $650 a month on YouTube. And my thought process was, well, as long as I'm making videos on YouTube, that'll kind of pay for the C8. So essentially, I paid the $25,000 down, and then assuming my channel still does its thing, it'll pay for the rest of the car. It's kind of my thought process. So even if I didn't have the supplemental second income of YouTube, a car payment of $727 with money down, of course, isn't terrible. I understand that $68,000 for a car is not cheap. I also know it's relative. If you're one of the 1%ers that drives a McLaren, to you that's nothing. It's like buying a bicycle. On the other hand, everyone's financial situations is different. If you're just trying to get by making minimum wage, I understand that $68,000 is a lot of money. I get that. But, you know, if you're middle of the road, lower middle income class, a C8 Corvette is not out of the realm of possibility. Now that the costs are creeping down, and you can get, using this, you can get Msrp. So hopefully this cleared up some questions for you. Again, any questions you have, please comment below. Another thing people ask me too is insurance. I feel like insurance though is too dynamic. There's way too many variables from your age, your driving history, if you have a DUI, where you live, where you store the car. I don't think sex matters anymore. I think they changed it to male and female are the same. But if you're a younger kid, 22, with 14 tickets, a DUI, parking this thing outside in a shady part of your state, you could easily pay $600 a month. If you're 55 years old, never had one ticket in your life, etc., you might pay $60 a month. So it's hard to answer the insurance portion of that. Even the monthly payments kind of differ, like I said, based on your credit score and your own personal financial situation. Hope you guys found this, like I said, informative. I just want to be totally transparent about the cost of the C8. Obviously, my C5Z, that thing's paid off. I'll keep that damn thing. That thing just makes me money, you know. Plus, I love that car. No shortage of stuff for the C8 behind me. If you follow my channel with the C5, it never ends. You know, another little preview, if you will. I did go 1LT kind of on purpose because I do plan on retrofitting a HUD into it. I did it on my C5, I did it on my C6. My C7 was at 2LT, so I never really farted with it. The C8, honestly, I've been reading a lot of stuff in forums. Don't think it's that much of a hard job to do. But that'll be coming down the pipeline probably 3 or 4 months from now. Get into that. I ordered some parts for the C5Z. They'll be here next week. It is cold as shit right now in Virginia. So I've been trying to wash this thing, clay bar it, do a little paint correction, and ceramic coat it. But it is so damn cold. Today the high was like 34, so I'm not a huge fan of cold weather. So that's all I got for today. Hopefully by, what's today, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have a really fun video of my wife driving this thing for the first time. It's really funny. She loves the damn thing, so watch out for that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Mark out.